Okay, so what is ROM? We'll see that. So we see the RAM already. So we'll discuss if you want again. We'll discuss the RAM. What is a ROM? So this is basically how BIOS chip is look like. It is itself. It is a ROM chip only. Okay. Um, so where are we? Yeah. So first of all, just a very simple. Once again, a difference between RAM and ROM. RAM is a volatile memory and ROM is a non-volatile memory. Volatile means it's a temporary memory. It stores the data for temporarily. The end. Whenever the power is off, data lost in the memory device. But what is a non-volatile memory? It is a permanent memory. Even the when power is off, the data remains in the device. That is called a permanent memory. In generally, ROM is a data or instructions burned into a chip. Okay, data or instructions burn. Burn means just they create a circuit. Burn means if they create a circuit, burn into a chip. Nothing but a chip on it. It's burned, so it's a completely burned into the chip. Okay. So next, what is this data instructions in the ROM? So what instructions? What is this instructions called? Or what data it is there? So that we call it as a firmware or firmware. Some people will call firmware or some people get firmware. So you can call it anyway. So what is firmware? Or if you want to know how to spell, also you can use how to spell kind of stuff. Usually English, American English, British English, and we are a English or a Tinglish people, so we'll combine so many things. Okay, what is this firmware or a firmware? So it is nothing but a simple, this is class of computer below. Yeah, something will give. Okay, it is nothing but a just a information or a instructions. Every device, every electronic device, like if you are using a digital camera or a computer or a laptop, your mobile phone, not required smart mobile, not normally your featured phones, Nokia 1100 type models also. Okay, featured phones or maybe like that. So so very basic devices, ACs, refrigerators, they have a circuit to maintain, right? So when you start the device, how to function, it is by how to, if you once you start, how to work. So that is be defined by firmware only. Okay, when you start a device, so who is responded first is the firmware only. So that firmware is saved in your ROM chip. Okay, that firmware will be there in your ROM chip. So this firmware, we call it as a BIOS. We call it as a BIOS in our computers. So anybody guess what is BIOS? Yeah, some of you know. Basic input output system. So the firmware, we call it as a or firmware. In our computer we call it as a BIOS, basic input output system. So what is the program or a data or a instructions in the ROM chip is a firmware. So what we call the firmware as a BIOS chip. BIOS. That's why ROM we call it as a BIOS chip. Okay, BIOS or a ROM both are same. Now New one is came that is called a UEFI. What is UEFI? Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. So I'm typing that one here, UEFI. Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. It is a update version of BIOS. Very simply say. So lot of things are there. It is a very simply say. It is a update version of BIOS. Okay. Mainly, it is in a 64-bit systems, and also it is provide a few extra features. We'll see that one later. Okay. So this is UEFI. Very simple, like a normal common terminologies. Also, I will tell. ROM means what is it? Read only memory, right? So it means you can't insert a data in the ROM. So once your ROM chip is created, so you cannot change the data, you cannot erase the data also. So that is very difficult for a certain companies. So what they do, so they created a empty chips and they put a name is PROM. PROM means programmable. Programmable means you can program it. Programmable, you can program it means you can insert a program inside. Programmable read only memory. Programmable RAM. Okay. Next. So you want to erase the data means once you programmed it, you don't like it or you don't want anybody copy that one. So you want to erase the data and throw the chip away because prompts once you insert a program again you can't remove it like it is a see a simple CD type means CD or DVD. Once you are put a data, you cannot remove it. So that is a PROM. Okay, so you want to erase it. So EPROM. It means you can erase the data also. Next one is EPROM. It's called electrically erasable PROM chip. Programmable read-only memory. Why they specifically say electrically? Means using electrical pass, you can erase the data in the PROM chip and reinsert the data. Means you can put the data back into the PROM chip also. Means you can reprogramming it. Okay, we can able to reprogram PROM chip. That's why it is electrically erasable programmable memory. So why it is specifically say electrically? You can use electrical pulse signals to reprogram it. Means program and reprogram the program. But PROM chip usually not electrical base. It is a UV base. They use UV rays to program, not reprogram. There is no reprogram. Once you send a signal, that's it. Okay, so that is why that is the main steps. So what chip we are using? We don't use ROM, we don't use PROM, we use EPROM. We use EPROM one. Okay, next. And what is the program inside your BIOS chip or a ROM chip or a PROM chip is a firmware. So what we call the firmware as a BIOS, basic input output system. Okay, what is the UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface? It is an update version of BIOS. Okay, mainly if you purchase any new type of 64 system, 64 systems, we can see UEFI. And UEFI and BIOS nowadays still coexisting in a same system. And maybe in future, So BIOS will be removed completely and only UEFI will be there. So there are some differences are there. So we'll see that one later. Okay. Next, what is the that things in the BIOS chip? So normally we discussed in as a BIOS chip, okay, or UEFI anything. So what is this BIOS chip? What is the program like? What is this firmware? Okay, what is BIOS contains? It's a firmware. Okay, what is a BIOS? Is nothing but a firmware, right? What it is contains. You have a motherboard, right? So simply, yeah, there is a few pictures you can see. These are BIOS settings. Okay, these are the BIOS settings. Meanwhile, I will go to motherboard. Okay, so regular motherboard. So just I want a full size motherboard. So this is a complete motherboard. So yesterday we discussed about motherboard. What is the motherboard? It is a circuit board. Motherboard is a circuit board, right? It connects different type of devices: CPU, RAM, north bridge, south bridge, BIOS chip, Cmos battery. Okay, and it connects the power supply from SMPS, and it connects the power supply for a CPU from the SMPS. It connects a hard disk, okay, data connector for hard disk, SATA or PATA. It connects CD-ROM, connects DVD. So it will give power connection like a power button, reset button, power LED, hard disk LED, CPU fan. It will connect, and system fan we can able to connect it. Keyboard, mouse, monitor, network connections, audio, audio pin jacks we can able to connect, like a audio mic you can able to, like a speaker and mic we can able to connect it. Printers we can able to connect it. USB pen drives we can able to connect it, like. So now we are connecting the devices. Some are on the motherboard, some are off the motherboard, some are inside a cabinet, some are outside of the cabinet, but everything is connected to motherboard only. Okay, everything is connected to motherboard only. So that is power of motherboard. Next, what is this firmware? So why I said about motherboard, now again, so we'll see that one. So what is this firmware contains? We'll see. Motherboard, on board. What is on board? On the motherboard, fixed chips, fixed chips, chipsets, chipsets, connectors, onboard connectors. Okay, connectors, information. Okay, next, when you insert a CPU, it understand CPU information and store the CPU information in the BIOS. It understands CPU, what is the CPU, and it understands the CPU. It takes the CPU information, RAM information, hard disk information. Okay, CD or a DVD, they're connected. So then it is that information. Okay, um, and generally earlier days keyboard information is also there. Okay, so hard disk information, CD DVD information stores. Okay, so some more other settings also there, other settings also there. So that is information. um, Enable, disable of hardware features, settings. Okay, settings it will store. Next it will store time and the date. Okay, time and date. It will store hardware passwords. It means BIOS password. It stores hardware passwords or BIOS passwords. exactly say BIOS password. It means if you want to change the BIOS setting, okay, a user want to change the BIOS setting, so they cannot change these settings until unless they know the password. So they it will store the password. Guys, listen carefully. On motherboard, connectors, chipsets, what are the things in the on the motherboard that is stored in your PC permanently? That is stored in your BIOS permanently. This is a permanently stores in BIOS. Okay, permanently stores in the BIOS. Okay, and these are updates when the RAM, for example, I inserted a 4 GB RAM. Now I removed a 4 GB. I inserted another 4 GB RAM. Maybe 8 GB RAM. Maybe 16 GB RAM. Or maybe I add another 8 GB RAM. So then it understand when you are inserted. I have a one hard disk. Now I inserted another hard disk. Maybe I removed a hard disk. I inserted SSD. So your BIOS chip understand and add the details to your CPU. So this is when you are connecting, so it will take the details and add the information to BIOS. Wait. Take details, add information to BIOS. Next, there is a certain features. Is like yesterday, I may show you that or maybe not. So I didn't remember, but see, virtualization enable feature. Virtualization enable feature. So you can see, see here it is. Can see from here Intel virtualization enable. So I want to create a multiple virtual machine in my PC. So this feature must be enabled. You can see enable, disable, enable like that. These are the features of certain hardware components. Different hardware components are there: CPU, operating system related, hard disk related. Okay. Different components has different kind of features. Even a CPU speed is a one of the feature. Okay, we can use 1x speed or a 2x speed, 3x speed, maybe less speed also you can use it. Okay, so enable, disable of hardware features, feature settings. Okay, you can do the settings, and also you can change some settings also. Okay, you can change some settings also. Next, time and date. So if you see, 1 second, I can show you. I think so. I will try to show you because this is a physical machine. I can't show you directly my physical machine BIOS. We will disconnect it. Okay. So I will try to show you one of the BIOS settings from my PC. Okay. So always I try to damage my XP PC. This is my Windows XP. Okay. It is very fast rebooting. So be careful when we are using. So I'm powering on. Okay, so I need a F2 to go to BIOS setting. Press F2 to go to BIOS setting. Just first power on and press F2. Again press F2. Sorry. Ah, press F2. Yeah, very good. First time only successful. Last time I took almost 10 times restart. See guys, guys, can you able to see the screen, right? That is my Phonics BIOS system setup utility. Can you able to see that one? Can you able to see or not? Yeah, very good. Why it is not drawing is not doing that one? Actually, it's very good with the drawing. Can draw it. Missed. Okay, see, system time, date, legacy diskette A, diskette 2, BIOS A and B, floppy disk, not there, disabled. Okay, this is my primary master hard disk, my primary master hard disk. This is my hard disk, the hard disk related details. Okay, and this is the nothing, we didn't connect in a primary slave, and there is a CD-ROM, so this is a CD-ROM details. Okay. Hmm. చెప్పండి. Resume record. Okay. This conference will now be recorded. Okay, guys. Yeah. Where are we? Yeah. So two hard disks are there. So if you see, I inserted two hard disks. That's why it is showing two hard disks and one CD-ROM. So this is a CD-ROM, and this is one hard disk. This is one hard disk, 40 GB, 40 GB. My RAM is 512 MB RAM, one single processor. Okay, you can see that one. See, two hard disk, one CD-ROM, and my memory is, you can see, 512 MB. Some numbers are showing like this. Okay. Next one is go to advanced. So here it is, installed OS, other, array only 95. So like that it will showing. Okay. Memory, cache memory configuration, array, other, those related things. Okay. IO device kind of stuff, serial port, parallel port, bidirectional. Okay. Mm. Advanced chip control, VCC configuration, security, password, supervisory password, user password means if someone is trying to change my BIOS. When I started learning a computer, that time is 1999. 1999. That is my first time I touching a computer. As I start learning computer, the institute people block this access. So without their permission, you can't touch the computer because computers are very costly that time, very very costly. Okay, so they will give hardware passwords also, like, so they must give BIOS password onwards. Okay, without entering BIOS password you can't enter into the system. Okay, like that. So they will secure the hardware and as well as the operating system, booting, operating, like that. Next, this is the boot level. So compulsory, guys, everybody look at this one. Compulsory look at boot. What is this boot kind of stuff? Hard drive, CD-ROM, removable device, network. It means when I start my computer, so from where I should load the operating system. From where I should load the operating system, from hard drive, from CD-ROM, from a removable device, like that. So this is the list, priority list. Priority means first of all, I started my computer. It load operating system from, it try to load operating system from hard drive. If in case my hard disk does not have OS, then what to do? My hard disk does not have operating system, then it will verify in the CD-ROM. And CD-ROM has a operating system, then it load from the CD-ROM. If CD-ROM does not have operating system, then it will verify some removable device, means pen drive or a zip drive, like that. It will try to load it. If that is also don't have any OS, then it will try to load a OS from network. So we can install operating system through network also possible. Okay, so it will try to find where is the OS is located in the network. So that is the options. You can change the priority also, like, it is a fresh system, or maybe I want to remove my OS, existing OS. Now I want to install OS from CD-ROM, right, pen drive. So I can change the pattern also by plus, like this. See, removable drive is the first one. First it will verify removable drive. So any pen drive is connected with the OS, it try to load from there. If not, try to load from hard disk. If it is not there, so try to load from CD-ROM, like that. Okay, it is, we can able to change the priority. So this is called a boot priority. This is called a boot priority. You guys understand boot priority? Yes, sir. Okay. Next, exit. Exit means you can, if you change something inside, so you have to exit and save changes or press F10. Press F10. There is a corner you can see. Press F10. You change something, but you change not good way. So you want to set up defaults. Means initially how it is like that one. So you can exit discarding changes, or you can load the default settings. Like that you can able to do it. Again, guys, remember the BIOS chip is manufactured by different organizations. This BIOS chip, Phoenix BIOS. This BIOS chip is Phoenix BIOS. EME BIOS, American Megatrend Inc. EME BIOS. Dell. Dell also manufactures its own BIOS chip. Dell chip BIOS. EME BIOS, American Megatrend BIOS. Phoenix BIOS, like that. So different companies are there. Okay, different companies are there. So they manufacture a BIOS. Each BIOS manufacturer is given a particular key to enter into BIOS settings. We are in the BIOS settings. To enter into the BIOS settings, when you start your computer, that time you have to press a particular key. You have to press a particular key. So what is the information in the BIOS? Mainly your motherboard base information. Next, it took the information of hard disk, CD-ROMs, details, RAM, processor details. Next one is date and time, and certain features we can able to enable, disable, or we can change something. Like it is see multi-processor specification, like this. Settings, it is there. Okay, like this. Large disk access mode. Okay, like this. There's a few settings are there. Enable, disables also there. And security settings, like to not change any user by this one. You can enable USB ports, disable USB ports is also possible. Boot priorities also we can able to change in the BIOS settings. Not only this, there is a few more things are there. It purely depends upon one BIOS settings to another BIOS. Depends upon BIOS manufacturer. See, it is UEFI BIOS utility. So you can see the BIOS is in a different set. You can completely, okay. Color one mouse is also works in some places like this. Okay, see complete details you are getting like this. So each screen is different from other one because of BIOS manufacturer. See, this is a one side. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is one kind of stuff. See, some are like this. Some are like this. Like this. This is phonics. Okay. Okay. So this is about your BIOS settings. I'm exiting. Now system is starting. So automatically system starts. Okay. Before start means when you power on the power machine, you can enter into BIOS settings. How to enter into the BIOS? So again, uh, how to enter into BIOS settings. In generally, I'm telling, press when, first of all, press power button. Okay, press the power button or restart your computer. Start the PC. Next, restart the PC. Then press the power button. Restart or restart your PC. When it is in a starting time only. Okay, press del. What is del? Delete button. Okay, press the delete button. This is the most common for most of the system, del. Or F2. Sometimes F2 function key is there. You can see in your system. Sometimes if you are using a laptop, the function keys are secondary keys. Okay, not a directory keys, right? So then you have to press the Fn plus F. So be careful when it is using. Sometimes F12, sometimes F10 also there, sometimes F11. Mostly these are the main things. Sometimes F9 is also there. Okay, F9, F11, F12. So how do you know which is exactly? So one is better to search your manufacturer and a model number. Based on that, how to go to BIOS settings, manufacturer and a model number. Based on that, better to search in a Google. Second one is when you start your PC, in the bottom you can see there is a um, what we can say. In a bottom you can see press F2 to go to setup or a BIOS setup, or a press escape for a boot menu. Yeah, escape is also there. Okay, press escape to boot menu, or a press F12 to setup, like that it will be there, or press F12 for something, like it will shows. If you want, I will show you. This is already I started. No problem. I am no cancel, not reset. I want to restart the machine. This is XP system. Restart the guest. Restart. Okay, guys. If you are missing, so I will show you that one. Keep looking. Oh shit! It is very fast. Yeah. If you see VMware logo and bottom, you can see. You can see in a bottom. Okay. Look at the bottom line. It is starting. Something is loading. Yeah, it is missed. Okay, it is got missed. So if you see that is in a bottom, it will show centrally. So that's, you have to keep pressing, just power on the button. If you are missing the F1 or F12 or whatever it is, so just press the power button, keep pressing Alt Control Delete if it is a physical machine. Don't try on your laptops, but if you have something for a practical purpose, you can try on them. Okay, so this is my Windows XP virtual machine. Okay, so that's why I can able to try it. Like if I have a physical machine, I don't take risk like that. But in generally, universally, because of initially computer means Dell computers and IBM computers. Next is Apple. Okay, so universally, the Dell people put a Dell to go to BIOS settings. Later, lot of computers are came up and different type of BIOS came up. So it is different Dell or F2, like that. Earlier days when we are learning a computer, so how to go to BIOS setting, press Dell only. Okay, like that. Now it is not like that. In a Windows 10, if you are using a Windows 10, from Windows 10 also directly you can go to BIOS setting if you are using UEFI. That's it. Next, guys, last point for now. Then I will give you a break. So time and date keep running, right? So time and date always run, right? So this is the time and date. Time and date. It's a temporary because it should be keep running when power is on. So then it will run. If power is off, no system will function. Even a data is there, but still the calculations part or running part won't work. Right? So time and date is a temporary in your BIOS. Your hardware passwords means you are not permanently storing it. You are giving a hardware passwords. It means your BIOS passwords. I said BIOS passwords or supervisory password or hardware passwords. Okay, that is also stores in a chip temporarily. Next, settings, change settings. So what are the settings you changed? Enable the features, disable the features, like that. Or maybe you change from 1.1 to 1.4, like there's some settings. These are all stores temporarily. Okay, these are all stores temporarily. When you turn off the computer, temporary data will be gone. Temporarily, I don't I ignore the spellings. I have to practice temporarily. One second. Tempo. Yeah, earlier I temporary, temporarily is also good. Yeah, earlier I put a correct only, but I feel that is wrong, so I change it. Okay, temporarily. So that this information stores temporarily in your BIOS chip. Okay, it means when power is off, this data is gone. When power is off, power of PC, okay, this data on from BIOS, right? So data is gone from BIOS. So what to do? Time and date, BIOS password, settings changes, temporarily BIOS. When power off PC is, if you power off the PC, the data, temporary data gone from the BIOS. Then how to protect? How to protect the data? Okay, to keep the data. Which data? The temporary data, the temporary kind of stuff. Okay, temporary data are settings. In settings, we use BIOS battery. BIOS battery. Okay, so here is a point. BIOS battery. We call that one as a BIOS battery, but it is BIOS battery or a CMOS battery. We call that one as a BIOS battery or a CMOS battery. Sir, what is CMOS? Very good. Okay, we call that one as a BIOS battery or a CMOS battery. Okay, but actually the battery is made up of lithium or lithium ion. It is a 3 volts battery. Lithium battery, it is a 3 volts battery. This voltage and current level from the battery is enough for a CMOS chipset. Yeah. What is CMOS? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So, guys, people who knows or don't knows, just I will tell. If you don't understand, also it is okay. Okay, about CMOS, if you don't understand, it's okay. You know, in our semiconductors, means it is a material like a silicon material, germanium, carbon. These are a semiconductor material. The semiconductor material usually we use silicon only. Okay, we use a silicon only. So they combined the two type of silicons into the together. They created a diode. Okay, so next type of one. So combining of three type of things: NP, NP, NP. That is called as a transistor. So these transistors use it to boost your signals, transform your signal, shape your signals, and also function of transistor is on off means 0, sorry, 1 and 0 function. Okay, that is your binary function, right? 1 and 0 function. Off means 0, on means 1. So your computer don't understand any language, it understand only electrical signal in the form of on off conditions only. So you there are use a transistor for a on or off part only. But these transistors are two types: UJT. BJT transistors. Okay, bipolar, unipolar junction transistor, junction transistor. It's a bipolar junction. BJTs are there. Usually we use a BJTs. Okay, so that's why to avoid what are the details, BJTs. BJTs we can't give high frequency, not faster. So they created from BJT to FET, field effective transistor, high power and high speed transistors, FETs. So I put a BJT. The BJT is still using, but FETs are very high powerful transistors and a very fast switching speed because of honor of conditions easily we can able to satisfy high speed communication you want it. But this is further developed into MOSFETs. Okay, MOSFETs. Okay, these MOSFETs are two types: NMOS and PMOS. Okay, so combination of NMOS, PMOS is nothing but CMOS. Understand? NMOS means N channel MOS, P channel MOS. Like NP means cathode anode type only. So I don't want to teach again electronics now. Okay, so this is a simple array. CMOS. So CMOS means complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So what I told, normally chip means transistors. It's a made up of transistor. Any chip is a made up of transistors only. Okay, some chips having a large number of transistors, some chips having a less number of transistors. When P4 is invented, that released in the market, that is become very highlighted because of it contains a more than 4 lakhs of transistors in the single chip. So that is a huge invention, huge manufacturing of a P4 processor. Okay, so what is that one? It is a NMOS and PMOS. Why we should using faster, less powers. It operates the very less power. NMOS and PMOS operates with a very less power. High speed switching speed is there. NMOS very high speed. Okay, and PMOS very less heat generation. Okay, PMOS property is less heat, NMOS property is very high speed switching speed. That's why they combine to make it much easier to get the switching kind of stuff. Okay, easy to create a logical gates like a NOT gate, AND gate, OR gate kind of stuff. We can easily create by using CMOS technology. CMOS main purpose is with a low voltage you can operate a chip. We can function with a chip. We can transfer the data from one chip to another chip. And this lithium battery support for a CMOS chips. Okay, a CMOS chip required voltage and power levels means current levels can give from this lithium battery. So that's why this battery in generally we are using for a BIOS chipset purpose. That's why we call it as a CMOS battery. If you go into the market, like, I want a lithium battery, so they will see you in a face like a differently. But if you say go to the shop, any computer or a basic computer related shops, okay. If you ask for I want a CMOS battery, yeah, then definitely they will take it. How many batteries you want it? 10 rupees a battery. Then you can purchase it. Okay, like that. Yeah, you're telling some question. Someone is asking some question. Okay, I will continue then. Yeah, CMOS abbreviation. Copy. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So we immediately describe CMOS battery. See, the CMOS battery is appearing, but it is 3 volts lithium battery only. But original CMOS is this is the transistor circuit NMOS and PMOS combination. So you can see multiple things. The representation is different. Logical gates are very easy to configure. This is how inside silicon slabs and all. Okay, I passed in that exam without writing anything. I write something. Okay. Right. So what happen if this battery remote? What happens if this battery removed and reset it, or battery charge over? Charge over means no charge. Over we will call as over, right? It means no charge, no power, no charge or no power. You can see. Yeah, people will take a word into another way of sentence, right? What if happen if you are removed it and reset it, or maybe you removed it, or maybe no charging in it? Very simple. Temp data in BIOS deleted. Simply say the BIOS settings get resetted to factory default settings. Okay. What happen if a battery removed and resetted, or or a, uh, or a battery is over means charging is no batteries 3 volts battery, after 3 years or 5 years the battery is not at all working, so then it is charge is completed, so no charge in that one. So what happens, it cannot able to give power to your BIOS chipset, so settings will go to factory default settings only. Okay, time and date will be removed, your passwords will be removed, BIOS password, not your your operating system password, you're having username and password, no, not that one, not that one. Okay, only your BIOS passwords will be removed, your enable disable things will go to back to the previous settings only. Okay, it will remove, so be careful, don't do it. Okay, if battery charge is over, your starter system, starter system CMOS error it is showing, you can see CMOS error, yeah, spelling mistake. Okay, so you are getting like this sometimes, press F1 to continue. Okay, check some error, CMOS check some error. Okay, CMOS check some error, defaults loaded, you can see CMOS check some error, defaults loaded. Check some error, default loaded. So if you got this error, so this is a error. So you start your PC, you got this kind of error. So what is the problem? Anybody guess? It is showing the on your screen. It is like this. Press F1 to continue. Press Del 2. Enter into the setup. So what is the error? Anyone?
The battery is on.
Yes. Someone removed a battery and resetted, or battery charge is over. Battery charge is over. So you are getting, if you are getting for every reboot. So what to do? So meaning is, the battery. We need to change the battery. Battery has no charge. Meaning is that one. So what to do? Change to new battery. Change battery. Change battery with new one. Very good. I heard your answer. Okay. Okay, so this is very simple. If you are getting this issue, so mostly it is not a BIOS chip failure, it is mostly battery failure. It is a 10 rupees battery only. So insert the with a new battery, or check the battery is inserted properly or not. If not, or you can otherwise remove the battery and reinsert it back. Or okay, so one is remove the battery and reset back. So this is one. And second one is, if battery charges and set BIOS settings. Okay, this is the first one. If you are getting for every reboot, means whenever you start your PC, every day you are getting like this. It is not about your battery seating kind of stuff. Okay, it is mostly because of battery charges over. It's a old system. Think like it is a very old system. So obviously we'll get this one. Even our Pune office also we got same issues. So it will give problem in later. So what I have done, so I told our guy to change the batteries. He purchased the batteries, so we changed it, working fine only. So we will change to only required PCs only. Okay, so change battery with a new one, new battery. Okay, so like this. Otherwise, if still you put a new battery, still you are getting a problem, then better to take for a the chip level manufacturer, chip level person. Okay, so this is about your BIOS, ROM, BIOS chip. That's why I didn't tell yesterday, because of yesterday almost it is 1 o'clock like that. So you are exhausted. I hope you understand. Any doubts?
Actually, if we didn't use laptop for long period in the sense, then only the CMOS battery charge will reduce, right, sir?
A laptop usually won't get the problems because you have a battery also. Desktops for after 3, 5 years, 6 years, you may get the problem.
Okay, CMOS battery has no charge like that, right?
Yeah, it won't charge also. You keep protect your CMOS battery. It will sorry, it will start giving power supply to your BIOS chip. Means like you have a pencil, right? You have a normal torchlight cell, alarm, clock. You have a batteries, right? Normal batteries.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right. So you have a normal batteries. Okay. In the normal battery, so what is the normal batteries? What we can say, after few days, like maybe after 1 month, or maybe like if you have a toys, maybe 1 month, 2 months, battery charge is over. Very good. Okay, that's your question, right, sir? Sometimes if it is clock, maybe 1 year it will come, right? If it is a torchlight, maybe after usage of few days, it will be charges over, right? Similarly, this is a battery. It after a few days or a few years, charger will be down, so it won't work, so charge is not there, just like our normal battery. Okay, so if it is over also we'll get this kind of problem. So definitely you have to replace the new battery. Very simple, like a BIOS, motherboard, BIOS, battery. Okay, so simple, this is the battery. You have to just yeah, push this little lever little bit, then battery will come out, and put the new battery just same as like this, and then and start the piece. Okay, so you will, once you got the error, it meaning is okay, so battery is like this. Mainly main PCs only, not for a laptops you won't get generally. By 5 or 6 years laptop will damage anyway. Okay, if in laptop also if you are getting, so then definitely you have to take the laptop repair personally. Laptop also we have a BIOS battery. Sometimes it won't, they won't be there also, but both the things you can't say exactly. This is how laptop is look like in inside. Okay, and I want to show, yeah, see like this. This is the CPU fan assembly, but actually CPU located here. Yeah, it is a YouTube. Okay, sorry, someone's YouTube. Okay, I- the CPU is here, and this is the fan assembly, heatsink assembly. So if you see the copper rod here, so your CPU get heated, so it absorb the heat, pass the heat to this fan assembly, and it will go outside like this, not upwards, not downwards. Usually the heat will go side of the laptop. Okay, so compulsory, don't put your laptops on the bed. And laptop meaning is put a laptop on your lap, means on your thighs. Okay, so on your lap you can put a laptop, just that's it is a laptop. Desktop you can put in a desk. Palm top, you can put in your palm. Okay, that is called palm top. Okay, so like that, but never put a laptop on your thighs or a lap. Okay, never put in a bed. Don't put any cloth kind of stuff under this one. So if you put it in a bed, the bed contains lot of dust particles. The bed sheet contains lot of dust particles. It block the area. Even it is a new cloth, the cloth block the area, so heat won't escape. Heat will went inside to your laptop. Guys, this is another important thing. If you put a cloth, so the cloth will block the air vents. Okay, so breathers, air vents we can say. Okay, it block the air vent, and the heat cannot go outside, so then it it heats the internal laptop, and it heats the battery. So battery will be damaged fast, and internal circuit also will be damaged very fastly. Okay, next, always give a space for a laptop sides. Okay, if you have a laptop, so any laptop images, okay, no problem, but in this one also remember, laptop four sides must have space. The two air vent space you must give lot of space. Make sure where you are putting no dust. Okay, and put it in a very simple tray kind of stuff only, means must give more air gap, so then it will cool very fast. So you can see here, it's the cooling system. Compulsory, let the air flow. Next one is, if we are using very old laptops, so no problem, then you can able to remove the backside part. Okay, so you remove the backside one, and clean up the fan and dust on it, so then your laptop works for longer period of time. If you maintenance of laptop, you will give definitely 6 years, 7 years, you will definitely will get the laptop. Okay, so longer period of time it will work. Okay, so that's another suggestion. I want to show the heatsink also. That's already I showed now. Okay, guys, good. Your BIOS, RAM.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Very good.